Or down?
Hang on. Are you... Was that my chair?
Yeah. No, that's the desk.
Oh, the desk goes up and down. What the I was like, how are you operating my chair? The whole desk goes up and down.
I know.
Oh, I need that in my studio now.
Herbie and Josh, K-Rock 955.
Welcoming into the studio, Jason Singh. Welcome.
Hey, how you going, guys?
Thanks for coming in. We'll talk about why you're here in a second, but obviously, former frontman Taxiride. Does that ever go away, or is that how people just introduce you for life now?
No, I mean, some people just call me Taxiride. That's they don't bother to get to know the actual person. But no, I don't. I hope it never goes away. It was a huge part of my life, and me learning how to be a muso and just growing into an adult male. It was a huge part of my life and something that I've begun to celebrate more and more every day.
And so you are here because you've got a tour on at the moment.
Yes.
And this has been extended?
It has been extended. It started with 11 shows, and the tour is called Jason Singh Plays Taxiride, Hits, Bits and Beyond.
Nice and short.
Playing all... Yeah, no, I just had a lot to say. But, there is a 20-year plus journey that I'm trying to cover, and as the title suggests, you needed to be a long one. But all the hits, all the bits and stuff that we would play back in the day that we stopped playing towards the end, and then everything that I did beyond Taxiride. And so it was only supposed to be 11 shows, and then it got some really good reviews and stuff, and it got extended to 30 shows, and now we're just about to blow it out to 60 shows. So I can't believe it. Like, it's the biggest tour of my whole career. I can't.
That's amazing.
I can't get over it.
So what's it like? Because obviously you would have been pretty young when Taxiride took off.
Yeah.
That's like back in the 90s, early 2000s.
heyday.
And, Australian music was huge, wasn't it?
It was the king.
And so what was that like taking off so young? And did it, obviously it changes you, doesn't it?
It does. It definitely does. And there's a song that I make reference to in the show because the show's about explaining what the songs are about and stuff like that as well. There's a song called How I Got This Way, which was all over radio back in 2000 or something like that. And that song's about an intervention that my mum put on when it sort of went to your head. It's very hard, as a 20-year-old to hang on for that kind of acceleration. We went from like total nobodies to not being able to leave the house sometimes, it's a crazy ride, and
mental?
That fast to the top. It's it is a lot to handle as a 20-year-old.
How does touring change then? Because obviously back in the day, I'm guessing it was a little bit more wild, and yes, COVID has hit, so it is different. But is it still wild at times? Like, what goes on behind the scenes that we won't see?
I think Facebook has fixed that. Social media and stuff. Like back when we started out, there wasn't even was hardly mobile phones. My mobile phone was like the size of my shoe. So it is changed, but you grow up and you still see a little bit of that sort of stuff, and you learn to look at the long game, I guess, as instead of let's just party tonight and not worry about tomorrow. Like, that hurts a lot more in your 40s, So we worry about, what tomorrow's going to feel like a bit more. But, it's funny that the crowds that we played to early on, I was just saying this morning, like teenage girls and stuff like that would come with their parents or their mothers or fathers or whatever, and now they're coming with their parents and their kids to my shows, which is bizarre. But there's 3 generations of fans that come to watch us play, and it's like, gosh, I remember you so much, and now you got 2 kids, and we, it's crazy. It is a cool thing.
With those fans then, when they come to your show, is there one song that just sticks out above the rest that they're going, you need to play this, Creeping Up Slowly? Which one is it?
Obviously, it's like Get Set and Creeping Up Slowly, and Everywhere You Go were our like big 3 singles. But this whole tour that I'm doing is really about like when you put out your first album, like our first album went for 43 minutes or something like that, and then you get booked for a tour that you're supposed to play an hour and a half. So there's a lot of other stuff that you would fill the gaps with that you end up just dropping as you make more music, I guess. So that's what a lot of those songs that I'm playing on this, like B-sides and album tracks that were really, really popular, where I'm bringing those ones back. And, like we would sell 200,000 copies of a single. And on that single, there was 2 other songs as B-sides,
Yeah, yeah.
that
No,
would be as
better.
popular as the single was at that time. And unless those people that bought that, they remember those other songs. So
Yeah.
that's the bits, I guess.
So yeah, because it's changed. Obviously, you've seen the complete change because we would have had cassettes back in the
Yeah.
90s, and then
Cass singles.
yeah, that's right. And then so like, were you recording demos onto that to send?
We
out?
were. Well, we recorded all our demos on the cassette tapes, and a friend of ours who drove a taxi would play our cassettes in his cab to people that would get in the cab, and he was our he would give us feedback about, they really liked this song and they hated that song.
Yeah.
And we'd go back and workshop the songs like that. And,
That's
but
amazing.
yeah, like our first album was recorded onto tape, like with 2-inch tape. There's no tricks or anything, and now you can make an album in
Off
your
your
bedroom.
phone.
There's
off your
kids in
phone,
their cars
literally off
going,
your phone
"What's
on the
tapes?"
toilet.
Yeah, yeah, and then, so when you see kids like nowadays, and they just chuck up a little chorus on TikTok, and then they become super famous, is it you like amazed that can happen, or
I am amazed. I mean, my kids are all over TikTok and stuff like that. I'm kind of still like shocked by it because
yeah,
I don't know how it happens. No, I don't know if anyone knows how those kind of viral things take off. But back in my day, it was 200 interviews, 40 TV appearances. Every magazine that you could go see, every in-store that you could do. Every gig that you could do to try and get out there and make it happen. Now you can do it, like you said, from your phone. And
it's amazing. Isn't it?
Have you learnt any of the TikTok dances there?
not the I've been too amazed. I haven't learned.
Kids are, Dad, come on!
I haven't learnt many of the dances, but I hear some funny stuff from my kids when they repeat it.
Oh, brilliant.
But it is a crazy thing to see.
Yeah.
The progression. And I still feel so young, like it's weird, but I've seen that whole progression of the music business go from recording, full band live takes to, going through Pro Tools and going through all these kind of new DAWs that you can record on. Yeah, it's been a good life.
Are you jealous? Or do you like the Australian music scene at the moment?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if it's a scene anymore, to be honest.
Yeah,
like there are, like you were saying before, like when Taxiride was out and we were on the radio, it was, Powderfinger and Savage Garden and Silverchair and Grinspoon, Super Jesus and Killing Heidi.
That's such a lineup
It was
there.
just like it was all about Australian music, and I think we've sort of lost a little bit of that identity by looking overseas so much for influence and styles and stuff like that. But yeah, it is. I really couldn't tell you anymore. I remember my sort of heyday, and we owned Australian radio. It was it was a unreal time for Australian creativity and music in general, I think.
Well, you're still on the radio too, which is a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I still
We're
get
getting
calls
ready.
all the time. Yeah, on K-Rock.
Herbie and Josh, K-Rock 955.